For my sins, I'm the lead of this project. My background is actually, well, I work for the business investment team, so my background's more on working with industry and attracting investment to the area. And we got involved with this because we know that for us to have a future-proof and an internationally competitive business offer in a city, we need a future-proof communications infrastructure. When we started at the early doors of this, it was about putting infrastructure in the ground, developing infrastructure. A few large companies didn't like the original approach, and had a little word with Europe, and so things have changed, and that's why we are. Yeah, and that's why, and rightly so, and that's why we are where we are. So, SuperConnected Coventry came about, and it's part of the SuperConnected Cities programme. It's funded by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport. Total 22 cities, 150 million. We've got just a small chunk of that. There's some bigger cities out there that have got very large chunks of cash, but we're very pleased to have 2.6 million to stimulate businesses and SMEs accessing broadband in the city. So that's where we're moving forward from. In terms of what it is, it's £3,000 grants available to small to medium-sized businesses and voluntary and third sector organisations. Actually, the grant ranges from £250 to £3,000. Interesting reflection, actually, DCMS have trialled this already in 4 cities in September last year. Belfast, Manchester and Salford, which are quite close. And what was the fourth one? Which was the fourth one?
Cardiff.
Cardiff, yes. Virtually all of the vouchers went out the door at the £3,000 level, so that's an interesting on the trial. But we'll see. We wait to see what happens on our patch. Vouchers cover both fixed solutions and wireless solutions. Really, it's technology agnostic. And that's important for the businesses. It means that you can get the right solution for you, and there is therefore an onus on the suppliers in the room and the other suppliers out there. I think we've got just over 100 suppliers registered to deliver the scheme in Coventry at the last count. There's an onus on them to work with businesses to make sure that they get the right solutions that work on their patch, given the existing infrastructure or lack thereof in their area. Businesses pay the VAT, any amount over the value of the voucher and the ongoing subscription costs. So this is capital funding for the installation and the start-out works. It's not helping you towards that monthly subscription that you will be paying, so that's an important point. Closing date for applications is 31st of March 2015. I wonder why they picked that date. I don't know, but there must be something big going on just after that. I'm not sure. Right, eligibility criteria. First of all, as I mentioned, you've got to be a business, social enterprise, third sector organisation. Your trading address has to be located within the Coventry City Council local authority area, and I might be patronising a few people in the room, but there's Coventry, that's the boundary. Nuneaton, Bedford to the north, Leamington, Kenilworth to the south, you've got Meriden, Balsall that way, Rugby this way, Woolston as well. I put that on there because I live there, so just a bit of a reminder. If you're outside that blue boundary, you're not eligible. Unfortunately, it is a city-based initiative. We would really like to see something similar rolled out throughout the Coventry and Warwickshire region. There's the Coventry Solihull and Warwickshire Broadband project, which is working hard to get super fast, and well, I think at the current total it's 91% of premises in the Coventry Solihull Warwickshire region. It would be great to see this to allow businesses to access that infrastructure as it's developed throughout the rural area. So that's something we're lobbying to get throughout the coming years, months and years. There are maps out there. That's a bit complicated, but it's the 4-digit postcodes. It gives a rough idea of the areas that are eligible to qualify. So just an important point in terms of geographical area. In terms of detailed eligibility criteria, I'll run through them fairly quickly, but you've got to be an SME in line with the European definitions, so 250 employees or less, turnover of less than 40 million. You can ask for a connection to upgrade your trading premises only. Home-based businesses are eligible, but but you have to prove you do the majority of your business from the home. So there's going to be some investigation on our part, and that's going to be difficult to choose. But we've got to make sure we ask the correct evidence to prove that. If you rent your property, you've got to have permission of the landlord to do the work. You've got to be willing to sign up with a pre-qualified supplier. So if you're supplying a room, make sure you're registered and approved by DCMS. I think most people are, or they're awaiting the confirmation to come through, so that's great. As I said, there's 100 suppliers on there already, so there is competition around. You've got to sign up for a minimum 6-month contract term, a minimum 20 megabyte plus dedicated symmetrical solution. Now, I'm not a techie, and all this stuff starts to get me a bit confused, but hopefully it means something to you guys. It has service level agreements attached to the contract, or a minimum of 30 megabytes contended service. And that's the thing, this has to be a step change in your broadband. Your existing connection mustn't be higher than 30 megs, so if you are, then this isn't helping you improve. Or there is a caveat in there that says it must be the service you sign up to, if you have over 30, must be double the amount of what you currently get. But they're all in the...
Sorry, I know you're in your flow. Could I just ask a question on that?
I'm not sure I'll be able to answer, but I'll do my very best.
So, you have fibre to the cabinet. You have taken a 15 meg service off your provider to the cabinet is clearly capable of 70 meg per second, but you happen to only have 15 on your current service. If you were to upgrade to a 30 meg service on that, is that eligible?
It could potentially be. We'd need to look at the details. There are some of these where we're going to have to look at the case-by-case detail.
So even if existing standard broadband services can deliver higher speeds to your property, but you don't have them, you still may be eligible for the grant.
May be, yes. This is DCMS. So there's an element of making it up as they go along, shall we say, which is to say they haven't quite finalised exactly how the criteria are going to be, because some of it's actually complicated, in fairness to them. It is actually quite complicated. But if you can show them a real step change and it makes a difference to your business, then it's probably eligible, and we will certainly work hard to see that is fine.
I think what we'll do is we'll make a note of that, we'll take it back and ask, because we're delivering the local element of the national framework, and you guys that know a lot more about the day-to-day workings of infrastructure provision are going to ask clever questions, and we need to get those answers and get those considered, and as James said, it's DCMS, and they are reacting to specific situations as they develop. I'll carry on. The other thing is public de minimis in terms of state aid, so not your company can't have received more than circa 165,000 funding in the last 3 years. So in terms of how to apply, very simple in terms of what I'm going to tell you. First of all, visit our website, coventry.gov.uk/broadband. There are links to register the scheme. You'll then be sent an application pack. If you've registered prior to today, because it's been open for registration about a month, we will, as of today, be sending you a pack with all the application details, the guidelines, the terms and conditions, and a link to an online application form. So the next steps in terms of that is making sure that you confirm to all the eligibility criteria. You then go out, you choose 2 suppliers from a list of registered suppliers in Coventry to obtain 2 quotes for a similar quality, speed of service, and submit your completed application and 2 installation quotes. As I said, it's a very simple process in terms of what I said. The reality is you've got to work with your suppliers, work with the suppliers to understand what you've got, what the potential is, and as I said, get the right solution for you. The application form is longer than we would like to see it, but we've got to make sure we collect all the evidence to prove the various things and meet the funding requirements of the DCMS. So no apologies, but just a recognition that you don't get out for now, and you're going to have to fill a few pages of application forming to get this. One final point from me, group applications. A grant can be for an individual organisation, but several organisations can apply as a group for a landlord or agent, for example, if they rent the same premises. If you're part of a shared application, each organisation must apply for them separately, and the landlord or agent must apply for the whole group. So these vouchers always put the decision in the hands of the SME or organisation. But there is an opportunity that one SME, £3,000, but if a group of SMEs decide to apply together, you know, do the maths, 10, 20, you know, that you can suddenly develop significant amounts of capital which could really change the infrastructure in your area. And that's all we're saying in terms of group applications, but there is an opportunity to do that. There are group application forms available which allow agents or landlords to sort of administer that group application process, and it is something to bear in mind in terms of raising larger amounts of capital. But again, it's a competitive environment, and the decision is in the hands of each of the SMEs. So that's all I'm going to say in terms of the detail. As I said, go to our webpages at coventry.gov.uk broadband, where the terms and conditions are readily available, the eligibility criteria. There's a glossary of terms as well, which tries to address some of the technical aspects of this. If you have any issues, give us a call, but register your interest, we'll send you the application packs, and let's get going with this. Otherwise, I'm going to hand over to James, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the benefit. What's this really going to enable?